I believe this is a very traditional Chinese light. It's a lotus light, and it's formed of a metal frame with little sort of plastic petals just held in by little tangs that go around to hold them in. And I got this one a long time ago at great cost in Chinatown in London. I just saw it in a sort of Chinese ornament shop and I was really taken by it. So, having bought it, I subsequently discovered that you can get LED lamps for it from China, which are designed specifically for these lights, but for some reason they choose a particular shade of red. Let me show you one. And afterwards, we'll take a look. We'll take a look as far as possible as we can in this to see the construction. It is not earthed, it's all sharp metal, but I'm guessing it's got, well, we'll find out. But these LED lamps seem to be aimed at this. I'm not sure if they do other colours. The only ones I ever saw were red. If I plug this in, it's not that bright. But it is, I guess, ultimately, I suppose, if I turned the light off, if I took the exposure off and I turned the light off, would it? It's all right. It's more of a decorative sort of thing in the corner. The light is coming back. Watch your eyes. So what we're going to do then, I'm going to take one of the lamps apart and we'll take a look at the circuitry in it. I can guess probably what it is. It's probably going to be a capacitive dropper. So, pops open as expected. Oh, let's screw that back in now. It's not just a red LED. Hold on. It's three red LEDs. I don't even know if you're going to see this because it's swampy out. But the middle LED is white and the three outer ones are red. Okay. Is there any flicker? There's not really any flicker, is there? Hold on, I'm just going to take it off camera. And, oh, there's a little bit of flicker, but not that much. It is not that many LEDs. Okay, tell you what, let's zoom back out again. I shall reverse engineer that. Let's take the fitting apart, if we can. Is it held together by the light fitting? It's got the little decorative felt pad in the bottom. The cable is going through that bush. It's then going through the sort of metal sleeve. It would have been nice to see a bit of extra sleeve there. If I unscrew this, is this going to come off or is it just unscrewing the whole thing internally? Let's just unscrew random things until something falls apart. So I'll try and get this apart, if I can. Where's my long nose pliers? And once I've done that, I shall reverse engineer the lamp. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Is this going to work? Is this holding it together as a series of layers? It's quite stiff. There's a wee lock ring in here. I quite like Chinatown. I know it's a bit cliched. It's styled as if it's like, well, look it up online. You'll see Chinatown, London. It's a very stylish place. It is mainly expensive Chinese restaurants and some interesting and affordable generic Chinese shops. It's very wide-ranging. It doesn't quite beat Camden Town as my favourite bit of London. This is knocked me off. I wonder if they've tried to lock this on in some way. As always, if you get bored, you can skip forward. And if you're only after the circuit diagram of the lamp, yeah, this is layers, then you could skip forward to that. So it does come off in layers like this. Ooh. And then they've got a couple of twisted joints in here with the little caps over them. Are they crimps or are they just twisted on? I think they are just twisted on. The wires are, yeah, twisted together. It's just little screws or whatever you call them in America. Okay, I wasn't expecting that. I thought that cable going in would have just gone straight into this lamp holder. But it is a fairly standard lamp holder, and if I now undo this, what will happen? The whole thing is held together by the lamp holder. Even the two subsections of the base, the sort of pressings, I'd guess, are held together by it. Yeah, so there we have it. This is what we have. Not keen on that bit there. but it is what it is, and all the sharp edges in the metal. But that's very of that type of thing. Okay, right. Let's put the bits to the side. Oh, I see how they've got these in. They've created the metal frame, and then they've put two metal discs in. One has been pressed down into it, and then the other one has been spot welded on top. And the petals have just been placed into that, and then these also spot welded, I guess. Little tangs have just been folded round on it. A bit squint. But hey, it's a cheap decoration. What do you expect? It's not like a luxury item. Right, okay, let's take a closer look at this. Let's get down on this. Is this circuit board going to come out? Is it clipped in? Is there a space for it to pop out? Or is it one of these things that it's not got much wire underneath it because it's going straight down into the base and it's soldered? We shall find... Oh, it's got a bit of play. Predictable, there's only one component on the other side. It's a capacitor. I'll tell you what, let's get that out. And then I shall do the usual. I shall take a little picture of this so you can get a close-up look at it and see the circuitry, although to be honest, I don't think it's going to really reveal any surprises. It's not even the usual sort of inrush resistor down here in there. It's all on the circuit board. Right, one moment please. Rather predictably, there are no great surprises here. It's quite a nice, sensible bit of design. The live comes on and goes straight through the dropper capacitor, which is on the other side of the PCB, the classic little 400 volt red dropper capacitor. It has a 470k resistor across that as a discharge resistor, so that's 4 7 and 4 zeros. That feeds one end of the bridge rectifier. The other end of the bridge rectifier is fed from the neutral via this 1k resistor, 1 0 and 2 zeros, a fairly high power one because it is actually dissipating a significant amount of the power of this light. That then goes to the bridge rectifier, and then the output, there's no smoothing, it just goes straight round the LEDs. So it goes to the first red LED, second red LED, third red LED, and then back to the negative via the white LED. So they're just effectively in series. And if we look at the schematic, it's I'll have to really zoom in this. I started drawing it in the usual position, but then of course it's tiny. The schematic of this half watt lamp, because that's what it is. There's a 220 nanofarad capacitor, 470k resistor for discharge, so you don't get a little zing off the pins of the lamp or the plug of the light. The bridge rectifier, and then just the LEDs across the output, that is it. The 1k resistor is notable for if there's 10 milliamps going through the LEDs, there'll be about 10 volts across this resistor. If there's 15 milliamps, it'll be 15 volts. So that resistor is pretty much dissipating as much as the LEDs, but it doesn't really matter. It's just a little tiny bit of warmth. And the purpose of that is, because there's no smoothing capacitor here, that limits the inrush current to much less, well, in the case of 240 volts, say RMS value, it would roughly quarter that, so it would be about, say, quarter of an amp, 250 milliamps, which is still a lot for the LEDs, but that's just the initial spike and pulse that switch on, and it's just designed to soften that. If we take a look at the light again, it has the traditional tungsten lamp here that you get supplied with them. Its power consumption is actually, let it stabilize, 12 watts. This one's power consumption, well, I'll show you. So 12 watts, notice how dull it is. I mean, it's not that bad. It's brighter, certainly brighter than the LED. They could put in a brighter LED one though. But if I put the LED one in, its power consumption is about half a watt. That's it. Something worth noting. The tungsten lamps in the UK, because of our higher voltage, these are very, very fragile. They have to make them rugged in the sense they have to just upsize the filament a little bit, because whereas in America and other 110 volt countries, the filament can be a lot thicker for that lower voltage. In the UK, the filament has to be much thinner for 240 volts, and it tends to be thinner and longer, and it makes them very, very fragile. So you only tend to find these used as nightlight lamps. And the case of the nightlight lamps, the little plug-in wall ones, they sort of run them half wave, so they're quite shimmery, but it just makes them last a lot longer. But there we go. The little Chinese lotus lamp from Chinatown in London. It's quite attractive. It's somewhat lacking in electrical separation. It might be nice doing a low voltage version. But it kind of suits the red LED just on the basis that it's a sort of table ornament. It's quite decorative. But there we go. The Chinese lotus flower light.